Hey, ¿qué pasa, Mufasa? It's Brendan back with another video. Often as photographers, we get into this mindset that we have to be in charge of the entire process from taking the photos to the very end, delivering the photos to the client. Now, this in fact is what makes us unique because there's nobody else that is going to do it like you can. Now, with that being said, the amount of stress and time that is involved in sorting through images and then editing, staying in front of the computer for multiple hours a day can be a little bit stressful, and that time can be better used in building up your business or spending time with your family. Now, this is where Aftershoot comes into play. It is doing an excellent job at selecting photos for me and culling down weddings and engagement sessions that I do down to something that is a little bit more manageable and where I can either edit or select my photos from there. Now, Aftershoot has taken loads of time already away from the computer because all I have to do is just kind of hit start and it will do its thing, as you're going to see in this video. Now, it's very difficult to explain how well a program works because this is a very subjective experience. You, as a photographer, know which photos are going to be best suited for your gallery that you're going to deliver, and having a program, an artificial intelligence program, do that subjective selecting of images for you, it's kind of hard to explain. Now, the only way that I feel like I can show you how this software and how this program works is just by running a gallery through it and having it select images, and then we go and we see what images it selected from there, and then how it works in conjunction with Lightroom. Just as a quick disclaimer, Aftershoot did not pay me to make this video. They have no say in the production of this video whatsoever. No money has exchanged hands. The only thing is I have a discount code down in the description below. If after watching this video and you're interested in trying out a month or so, you can get 10% off of your purchase. So that will be down there, but that also helps me, the YouTube channel, and it also helps out the guys at Aftershoot. But that is as far as the interest goes right there. But I really care about you guys, and I would not push a product that I did not use myself. And I've been using this already for a couple weddings, and you guys are going to be pretty impressed on how well this program and the software works and how it can really save you a lot of time. So let's get into the program. So when you open up Aftershoot, this is kind of what you're presented with here. As you can see here, there's 13,000 photos that have already been culled. I have done one wedding and 2 engagement shoots here recently. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna create a new album, and we're going to pretty much just drag and drop one of our files that we need to cull. And I think this one I have not done yet, so let's do that one. And as you see, it's going to start importing some of the photos, and it's going to start giving us some previews of the photos that we have imported into Aftershoot. So we have to kind of wait a little bit, and that took about a few seconds to start getting our previews here. And let's see. So what it's doing now is it's actually making the previews in Aftershoot. And so right here it's saying it's gonna take like 3 minutes or so, 3.5 minutes for all this stuff to happen. All right, so we're done importing all of our images, and as you can see, look, I got a lot of white images here. Anyways, got some establishing shots and everything. Anyway, so we're getting the previews here of some of the this wedding here. All right, so next step is to start culling. But before we start culling, you're gonna see that you have a couple of quick filters. And when you first sign up, you can modify these, and you can still modify it somewhere in here later. But the green, basically, this is gonna be kind of like a new workflow for you. There's some kind of, I wanna say, like growing pains whenever you're using a new software, whenever you're transferring from a new platform or something, you know, there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not so much with Aftershoot. Really, it really is pretty intuitive and pretty easy to use. And so we get our selected photos, think previews, duplicates. So basically you can modify these, but the way it sorts it out is based off of facial recognition and also the duplicate photos. So if there's a lot of photos, if you're just kind of like praying and spraying kind of deal, especially with mirrorless systems, that kind of happens pretty frequently now, where I just kind of like hold the shutter button down a lot of the times for events, especially if there's something really important happening. And it really gets rid of a lot of duplicates based off of your filter settings. And of course your green is going to be selected, and you're going to have some sneak previews and closed eyes. And closed eyes is another filter that sometimes gets rid of actually good photos, because a lot of times I tell my couples to close their eyes during certain photos. And so sometimes that's just a filter that you're going to have to kind of like go through later once you're editing your photos. Anyway, so let's start culling. And here is the filter settings that you have. And threshold for blurred photos, you're going to have really strict, moderate, or late. And I usually just kind of leave it at moderate. The criteria for grouping duplicate photos, I really have this one at somewhat similar, which is like the most strictest filter. I usually just keep this at moderate, the duplicate group, and then your volume of sneak previews, I just kind of keep it at 5%. Sneak previews just kind of gives you an idea of the photos that were selected by Aftershoot. Anyway, so we hit this, start culling, and it says grab some coffee while we do our magic. Don't mind if I do. By the way, do more coffee mugs. Link down in the description. Alrighty, so Aftershoot says it's all finished up and it has selected all of our photos. It says it took about 16 minutes to complete, going through 7,300 photos. And as you can see here in the green, it has selected 2,500 photos. Got rid of about half here in the duplicates, saying that 720 of these photos are blurry. And we've got 1,300 with closed eyes. So we're going to go through the photos that it has selected here in green. And as you can see here, it's picked out a couple of these. It's rejected this one, most likely because it's a duplicate. Yellow here is a duplicate. So there's a lot of duplicates. But let me go through something maybe a little bit more like, for example, in this photo here. So it's saying here that it selected the green one, and the one that it rejected around it, or these other ones here in yellow. So yellow here, and it picked out the green one, and that's probably the better choice because the other ones, it looks like some of the jewelries were not super sharp and in focus. So that's always helpful there. And we're just going to kind of go through some of the shots that I took here. So this is a green shot here. That would be good. I'd probably make that as a black and white. And look at that. It has it selected this shot here. And I've got 3 other shots that are pretty similar. And it went with this one, which kind of makes sense. Same thing here. It selected this green photo here. The photo in green is the selected one versus the yellow one, and this yellow one here too. So did a pretty good job there. Okay, so as far as like the details here, it picked this shot here, which I guess was probably the best one. Actually, maybe this one. So maybe in this instance, I would have picked this shot because the labeling on the socks is in focus. And here the socks gets kind of cut off a little bit. So I might have picked this one, but it's okay. I mean, it's not like the end of the world. It also picked, actually, it picked this one here too in green, which is actually even better than the previous one that it had selected. So, did a pretty good job there. Let's see, let's take a look. So I get the shot of the groom getting ready. It was kind of like a candid shot. And actually we have a camera lighting off to camera left here, and with a little bit of a little strobe. So there's that. These are our sneak previews. And these are the shots here that we got of the groom Aaron. That's good. So all of these are pretty much, that's a selected photo. And these are kind of like the duplicates here. So I think it's doing a pretty good job. I mean, pick that photo here, makeup, and got that photo. I got that photo. So, I mean, it does a really good job here. Even this shot here too, like, it just, I don't know how it works. It just really knows which photos to pick. It just really is incredible. Since I've already imported to Lightroom these images, I'm going to show you really quickly how we can get all these labels that we have on applied to these images and all the ratings, and how we can transfer that over to Lightroom. You're going to find the folder that we just culled, and there it is. you're going to go and you're going to select all, Command A or select all. Then you're going to go read metadata from files. And it's going to ask you yes, and then read. And what it's doing now is it's reading the labels that we had applied in Aftershoot, and now it's going to apply all of the labels to Lightroom. So knowing which ones that we wanted to keep, we're going to keep the green because green means selected. I usually keep blue and purple because purple and blue is the eyes are closed, and purple is the sneak preview. So we just kind of wait for the images here to update. Alrighty, so as the XMP files and the metadata and everything is all updating, let me just show you really quickly how I start to edit these photos. I basically just gonna start double clicking here, and I'm gonna start going through and kind of adjusting my images and going through these photos and starting the editing process. And so, I apply the preset, I use the Jose Villa preset here, and we start editing. And then I go into the next one. And what I do is when I find a photo that I don't particularly like out of the selected photos, whether it might be like this similar photo that the software didn't capture, or just something that I don't want to include in the album, I just hit 0 to give it a 0 rating. For example, like this photo's here, the statue. And let me see. So we have 2 statues here. They're pretty much identical. Let's say I don't want to keep that one. I hit 0 to get rid of it. And that way when I upload to Pixieset, which by the way, if you don't know how to upload your albums from Pixieset through Lightroom, I have a tutorial on that. I'll put the info card above. Once I'm pretty much done editing everything, I can select all, drag and drop it into my Pixieset album. And so we started from, about 7,000 photos, and we got it narrowed down to about 2,000 photos in a span of 16 minutes. That is amazing, because just for me to narrow this down to, about 2,000 photos or so would have taken me at least an hour or so to go through this. And I'm really putting my hands down and trusting the software, and it's really going to be a part of my workflow now to edit photos. Because again, the less time that you're spending in front of the computer, overall it's just a better for you. Hope you like this video. It's really quick. If you want to try out the software again, it's down in the description below. Got the discount code for 10% off, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.